I think I covered a couple of 32 inches this year, but this one right here definitely is something quite impressive. I do have to admit. I mean, we saw that at Gamescom if you saw my reels or something similar to that on other social media. But regardless of that, I didn't say anything specific about it except writing the specs, right? So right here we have AOC AGON Pro AG326UD, which comes in, of course, 31.5-inch qd-oled screen, and the specs are quite good. But that's not all, of course, because what we have right here is something new to enter the market, and it goes into the segment where it halves the price of other competitors. And I'm not just saying this because it's here for review. I'm saying this because you get this for about 700 euros or something like that, the current price, what I managed to check, right? So it could fluctuate from country to country, from region to region, so I can't go into that segment. But this price, I mean, I saw it in UK for £650, and that's just outstanding. So when you take into consideration that we have 4K resolution, so 3840 by 2160, 31.5-inch QD-OLED, adaptive sync, 165 Hz refresh rate, response time gray to gray is 0.03 milliseconds. We have 178 degrees horizontal and vertical viewing angle, loads of other stuff. Just placing the wallpaper, just watching some YouTube videos with 4K resolution and just checking out the difference in colors and everything all together, and gaming was outstanding. I mean, I've seen similar monitors that you place right out of the box, you turn it on and you can watch whatever you like, you can game whatever you want, and you can do whatever you want as well. But this one is just, the colors are way better than on my Samsungs at the back. And this is really good. I mean, I'm really surprised. Now, what AOC did with the Agon Pro AG326UD is they approached it a bit differently in terms of trying to give you the QD-OLED with this resolution, refresh rate, response time more approachable in terms of the price range. But then you have something completely different, what I didn't expect. So we have this quite strangely shaped stand, which kind of, I don't know if it's more like gamer advertised in terms of reaching more gamers that do like this bit of a different and aggressive design in those terms, because we have that same thing going at the back with the LED strip going rainbow effect at the back, which you can of course adjust in the G menu, but that's the topic for a bit later. But did you notice that monitors in general are being minimalistic on the front, and then at the back the creative part of the brand goes insane and does different things, right? So we have this RGB LED strip, which you can of course adjust in the G menu. Then we have this stand, which is, as I stated, a bit differently shaped. And of course the main stand, which is, well, quite all right in those terms. It's heavy, it will keep the monitor stable, but then again we have this non-stable part if you move your table. So yeah, there's that. But it is what it is. I mean, that's it. Now, one thing that is bugging me for now is the cable management at the back. When you take a look at the cables running out from here, and if you do it like this, you can see the cables running here, right? So what's here left to do? The one thing that I really appreciate when we're talking about monitors and stands in general, and when we're talking about cable management, is a hole through this part right here, or at least a bit higher, so it isn't visible immediately in these 10 centimeters. So basically the cable goes through and directly at the back, not around the stand, not anywhere other than that. You do have a hook at the back where you could actually place all those cables, but honestly I prefer having a hole here in the middle of the stand, which basically gives you an option to really nicely rearrange everything. And this is, lately, I've been seeing a lot of this stuff. So let's go into details. I've been talking about already, giving you some conclusions, but regardless of that, so we have a screen that is vivid and bright with rich colors. We have true black, stunning contrast. Screen looks really incredible. I think I already mentioned that. It also has Vesa certified display HDR True Black 400, 1000 nits peak brightness. Apart from the cable management, it is missing a Type-C, so that's another thing to add to that part, and I don't think it would raise the price that much. So we have adaptive sync, 165 Hz refresh rate, response time gray to gray 0.03 milliseconds, 139.87 pixels per inch, anti-reflection panel treatment, which I was shocked how it performs good on a gloss surface. I didn't really expect it. I was thinking that I would be seeing a clear reflection of everything in my studio, and guess what? It's not. It even dims out the soft boxes, so I was really nicely surprised. Then we go with display hardness, which is 2H, 1.5 million to 1 contrast ratio, 1.073 billion colors. Brightness in the SDR is 250 nits, 450 nits HDR, and 1000 nits HDR EP. Supports multi-view with picture in picture and picture by picture. sRGB is 138, DCI P3 is 99, and Adobe RGB is 97.5. So these specs are something that you would expect from a monitor that is either 2 times or 1.5 times higher in the price range. This is outstanding. Then we go with visual. So we have 3-sided frameless bezel type, which are dark gray color, and we have matte finish on those. And then we go with the housing, which is matte black. Now we have a removable stand, and the monitor also supports Vesa wall mount 100 x 100, which is good. Speakers 2 x 8 watts, and they're quite solid. I do have to admit, not like regular speakers from a monitor that really don't, perform that well. They are solid. Still, regular speakers are better, quite logical, but they are solid. And then we have Kensington lock on the far left or right side, depending on which side you're looking. And the stand gives you a possibility to tilt it from -5 to 25 degrees. Height adjustment is 150 millimeters. Swivel from -16 to 16, and you can rotate it. Outstandingly nice. 21.5 centimeters is the maximum height with the stand going up, with the monitor going upwards on the stand. And then we have 6.5 millimeters, which is minimum height from the table to the monitor when you push it at the lowest point. Support from gaming style in terms of presets, we have shooter, MMO, RPG, action, esports, RTS, FPS, racing, and game mode presence. We have RTS, FPS, racing, Gamer 1, Gamer 2, and of course you can switch it off. Some other features like G menu, we have low input lag, game color, shadow control, Corsair, dial point, frame counter, and console compatibility is 3840 by 2160 at 120 Hz, which includes PS5, Xbox X, and Xbox S. Connectivity, right at the bottom, we have two HDMI 2.1, DisplayPort 1.4, USB hub with USB 3.2 generation 1, which is 3 USB downstream ports at 5 gigabit per second. One is for fast charging. Then we have headphone out with 3.5mm jack. USB hub upstream is USB 3.2 Type B generation 1, 5 gigabit per second. Now with the joystick at the back, you can power on the monitor, of course, logical with a one press, but when the monitor is turned on, one press means that the G menu will open. So right at the start you have game settings, which give you an option for game mode, shadow control, game color, adaptive sync, sniper scope as well, low input lag, frame counter. Then we go with luminance. This you can adjust the contrast, brightness, dark boost, eco mode, gamma, and HDR mode. Right after that, we go with picture-in-picture settings. Now here you can see that you can adjust it quite immediately, and it switches off the screen to give you an option to go with picture-in-picture, or when you go back and you switch to picture-by-picture, it also does the same. So it switches off quickly and splits the screen. In this scenario, since I have only this PC connected and this monitor, it actually just replicated everything. So yeah. Then we go, of course you can after that switch it off without any problems. Then we go with color setup. You have a low blue mode, color temperature, color gamut, and right at the bottom you have the possibility to adjust more if you go with custom. Audio, only volume adjustment. Light effects, where you could place strong or medium or whatever, and then you have light effects mode, which gives you an option for breathing, static, or similar things. And the pattern, do you want to go rainbow, single color, or whatever, you can really adjust here into details. As I pointed out, when you switch off the lights, if it's a complete dark, it's still barely visible. So it should have been done either more brighter, or this is just some sort of a, not a gimmick, but something to decorate the backside of the monitor so it doesn't look plain as or minimalistic as the front part. So taking into consideration what I gamed in general, we have Witcher 3, we have Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I didn't want to go into details too much regarding that. I just want to check a couple of things. So the FPS don't really matter with the screen, unless you go above 165, then you might see some screen tearing, and that's normal for every monitor. But regardless of that, when we discuss the part with the gaming, I like to see the coloring, the colors in general, and the blacks in dungeons when we go with Witcher 3. It was just outstanding. I do have to admit, it didn't have any. When you play with certain monitors, certain games, like Witcher 3, and then you go into the dungeons, and then you can barely see the figure or Geralt in the middle, while everything else is dark. You don't see any shades, you don't see literally anything, and even with proper adjusting, it's just too hard to do that. But on this screen, it was really nice. So all in all, what I can say, vivid and bright screen, rich colors, true blacks, in terms of not true blacks, but you can actually see the difference. And the thing is, with qd-oled, it's really nicely done altogether. Now, even with 165 hertz, I know some of you guys would most likely prefer having 240 maybe, but I don't know if that would make the price cut. I'm not quite sure. I won't go into that segment because I honestly don't know. Of course, it would be much nicer to have 240 as well, but it's a 4K monitor and you really need to have something really insane to actually reach those. You can't reach those in every game, but in some games you will most likely be able to do so. Regardless of the refresh rate, I'm really digging this screen. It's outstanding. It has literally everything that, well, most of the gamers would want if they can run, of course, the 4K resolution on their PC. And in general, the stand is a bit different. Some of you might like it, some of you might not. It's definitely something on personal preferences. The cable management needs to be thought through, without a doubt. I'm saying this for every monitor that I see this, and yeah. Type C, it's again something, if it's for gaming exclusively, you might not even use it. But if it's something that people actually like this specific monitor for their I don't know, workflow or office or anything similar to that, and they might be actually benefiting with Type C, then it's missing definitely. All in all, the price is there, and this is one of my favorite, what I noticed, 4K QD OLED, and all the specs that I mentioned. I won't go into details again. So definitely PC Crazy Best Buy badge for this AOC AGON Pro AG326UD. Thumbs up. AOC did an outstanding work on this one, and that's all I can say. The cable management and the USB Type-C is something that I will just look by and not take that too much into consideration, but that is definitely going into the negative part or the cons. But everything else is so positive that it has to go, specifically with the price, definitely needs to go into PC Crazy Best Buy badge. So yeah, that's it. I'm recommending it. Link is in the description below, so you can check it out. More details, or maybe the price, that will vary without a doubt. It's the world that we're living in, and we have to get used to it, right? So yeah, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and hopefully I will see you soon in another one. Bye bye.